5 minutes. Mika, with us now, editor of the Financial Times, Lionel Barber. Lionel, thank you so much for waking up early.
It's good to be here. I'm still adjusting, Joe, but...
You know, it's like 11 o'clock in London right now.
It's actually coming up to noon.
Well, that too. Look at you. It is coming up to noon. So let's talk about DACA. We've talked about the human cost, and we've had Republican congressmen on here and senators talking about why they would oppose it. But let's talk about the business community and the sort of pressure that Paul Ryan and other Republicans are going to hear from the business community on extending this program.
Well, Joe, we heard earlier about the low-paid jobs, those jobs in places like Iowa, the meat processing, that are supposedly immigrants are taking American jobs. The interesting thing for me is the way in which Silicon Valley has spoken up. The likes of Mark Zuckerberg,
right?
Bob Iger of Disney
came out strong yesterday, right?
Yeah, cruel. By the way, watch him politically.
Yes.
But then Lloyd Blankfein saying it's just not fair. Lloyd Blankfein, head of Goldman Sachs, saying it's really, he questioned why somebody grown up who only knows America should be thrown out.
Tim Cook came out doing the same thing. The CEO of Microsoft basically said the government will have to come through us to deport our dreamers.
And these are skilled. I mean, you can't get much more skilled than Silicon Valley. So I think this would be very interesting whether they start putting pressure on the likes of Paul Ryan, the Speaker, and others to say, look, okay, we may not be able to get comprehensive immigration reform, as you were saying earlier. That didn't happen, hasn't happened for 30 years. But we need to protect the 800,000 people. They haven't committed crimes. They're going to pay taxes. They only know America. They shouldn't go home.
This may be the issue that actually shows the largest divide between the Republican establishment, the Republican business community, and the nationalist wing of the party, the populist wing of the party, right? Because you're going to have every business owner, for the most part, saying, pass legislation, do not deport the dreamers.
You even had the U.S. Chamber of Commerce talking about fundamental American values. When was that the last time you heard that kind of language?
Doesn't happen a lot.
So this is, watch this space.
Yeah.
What about this space, Lionel? Great Britain is dealing with Brexit. We're dealing here in this country with Donald Trump and what he does today by the hour. North Korea's on the front burner. There have been a series of proposals, verbalized, not made, to crack down even further on China as a way to get North Korea to cede to the requests of the administration to curtail nuclear weapons. What happens to the global economy if we get even tougher with China and a few Chinese banks than we already are?
Well, you can certainly withstand some targeted sanctions against Chinese banks, but if you were to pursue what the president was suggesting in a tweet, I mean, by the way, maybe don't take everything seriously that goes off by Twitter, but still, to close down all trade with anyone who's doing business with North Korea, that would be an economic shock. You'd see bond market go crazy, stock market go down, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's just bluster. The real issue for me, and I think what markets are looking for, sensible markets, are saying, is there going to be a coherent diplomatic initiative involving China and the United States, and maybe others, in order to try to put targeted pressure on North Korea to freeze this program? Many people are skeptical that will happen. It's been tried before, tried to go through China and ask them to lean harder on North Korea to some avail, but not enough, obviously. What more, from your point of view, can be done? We've asked this of a number of senators who've come on in the last couple of days. Nobody wants a preemptive military strike, but it's in the conversation. Senator Coons addressed that earlier this morning. What more can be done in terms of sanctions to a regime who doesn't seem to be terribly worried about being sanctioned? Well, I think they are worried. They would be worried if the oil supply was cut off. But I think the key here is that when we've talked about an approach, it's been largely on American terms. Now, let's be clear. You have a dictator who's hell-bent on pursuing a nuclear weapon that has, if you like, city strike capability. I mean, either on the West Coast, this is what the goal is, a thermonuclear weapon. This would change all the strategic calculations in North Asia. However, the key now is to try to talk to the Chinese in a way to say, look, we need to hear what your concerns are. Would you be prepared to apply some pressure in return for this, rather than just saying, apply the sanctions?
What do investors around the world see right now as the fundamental strength of the American economy?
Flexible economy, confidence. I mean, we talk a lot about politics on this show, but actually, in terms of raw economics, the figures, the American economy is performing really rather well. And by the way, so too Europe, often written off, not least by the Brits. It's, you know, things are doing quite well. There's a big uncertainty about interest rates and when that happens, what impact that will have. But I think, you know, technological strength, immigration, innovation. If you get this right on DACA, immigration would be one of the great strengths, enduring strengths of the American economy.
And how's the British economy faring right now in the middle of a debate? Because it's so interesting. We were over in London for a few weeks.
I hope you had a nice time.
I had a wonderful time.
Did you get to Buckingham Palace?
The Queen was busy this time, but next time. Mika ran around it. I looked at pictures on the internet. But the concern was Buckingham Palace. But the concern is, at least in London, that our problems that we're having are temporary, and they leave with Trump. I hear this time and time again. Said, you think your situation is bad? Your situation involves one man. Our situation involves a process that no longer works, a political system that no longer works. Are they being a little pessimistic?
No, our problem is that we have made a once-in-a-generation decision, which is binary, to tear up the most important trading relationship, and by the way, political relationship that we have. And we don't know what comes next. We say we don't want to, we have no obligations to pay, the divorce bill, all this stuff. Now, I think as a result of this, there has been a short-term hit on the British economy. Sterling has fallen, growth has fallen slightly, but the big question for Britain is what comes next? What is the new relationship that we have with the European Union?
And what do you think comes next?
Well, do you know, we're going to have a transition.
Right.
We're going to have 3 years where we essentially live under the existing rules.
Our editor of the Financial Times, Lionel Barber, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Still ahead, he stayed on Donald Trump's Diversity Council in the wake of the president's response to Charlottesville, but ending DACA is apparently a bridge too far. The head of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce discusses his decision to now leave the president's council, and long lines in South Florida as residents gas up to get out of Hurricane Irma's way. This is a big one. With 185-mile-an-hour winds, it's now the Atlantic's strongest hurricane ever. We'll have the latest path. You're watching Morning Joe. We'll be right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.